Everyone knows a workspace that really fits the style that you want, that's clean and really fits to what you want to do to make you get productive, really helps with your productivity. And that's one thing I really like watching a lot of videos on YouTube and places is like, you know, the tech YouTuber stuff, just to see what, you know, what's out there and how cool their setups are in these elaborate rooms. Well, I don't have one of those elaborate rooms. I just have like a little piece of my studio apartment. But I really wanted to see what I could do to clean up my workspace, because years ago, probably about 2 or 3 years ago, I'll show you a clip from my old apartment, which is a very small studio apartment. Things on my desk were very cluttered, and well, I thought that was cool at the time. If I look back now, I'd probably freak out, because I've been a little bit more minimal and simplistic with things, hence selling a lot of my camera gear and everything, to really pare down and just have the essentials of what I need and really just stop the whole gas type of syndrome. This is my new setup. This is what I feel it is right here. I'll list out everything. You'll see it's a theme of basically being minimal. It's a standing desk setup theme, so the storage part is interesting. I'll cover that when I get to it. And it's like a silver, black, and gray look. Just stuff that I'm really into, so let's go. And what really kicked off this new setup was that I did a video with a FlexiSpot desk probably either earlier this year or late last year, where I basically built a desk using it for like more product shots, where I could do overhead shots looking down, you know, gear reviews and unboxings, where you saw it on there. You've seen it around here. It's like a tan wood looking one. FlexiSpot saw that and they said, hey, we've got new desks out. They started like $299. Can we send you one out? So FlexiSpot did send out the desk portion. So they did send out the gray legs and the 55-inch black top for it. But I will say the desks are actually amazing. They did not pay or sponsor this in any way. They just sent the desk out. But everything else here, obviously I paid for and everything. And the one big thing that I like compared to the desk before is that I think it's smoother when it rises compared to my other one. And the motor is much smaller in it. And I felt like everything was a little bit easier to install in this bad boy right here as well. And I just love the customizability of it. You have 3 functions you can set up, so that way they could be 3 different customizable heights. You essentially use the up and down arrows to get it to the height that you want. You hit M once you're at the right height, and then you hit the corresponding number you want it to be. Like for me, 1 is my standing height level, which is like 43 point something, and then 2 is my sitting down one, and the 3rd one I don't really use. But the desk, you know, the desk from before probably took me like an hour and a half to put together, but this one right here really kind of just took me roughly about 45 minutes. Like I said, in their desks, the desktops that they provide, there's already some pre-drilled holes that you can just screw in the proper places and you get good to go. Just make sure the top of what you're getting matches the width of the legs that you're getting as well. The one thing that I think that it needed is more of a crossbar to be a little bit more stable when it's all the way up, but that happens to any standing desk because of just the center of gravity and how it is if there's no crossbar. But for me, it's no problem. I get more leg room and it's great. So my desk right there is about $400 with the legs and the top, which is very affordable and pretty much competitive to whatever is out there. The other thing that was interesting that they sent over at the same time, and I think it's key because I use it for work a little bit, is an anti-fatigue mat. So it's basically a cushion mat that you can get on top, that you can just put down. And I highly, highly recommend using those for a standing desk setup because it really does provide relief. So you're not just putting full force on your ground, right? You know, on your feet and on your bones and everything. If you stand for a long time, it can hurt. You will get achy and everything like that. Doesn't matter how big or small you are, just gravity. Looking at getting a mat as well. That one right there is like $80, but then there's like more affordable ones on their site as well. Everything I talk about in this video will be linked down below, and here's everything else as well. So the computer you see on my desk right here, I am in an Apple ecosphere, and I do have the 2017 iMac 27-inch 5K Retina Mac right there. In there right now, I have 48 gigabytes of RAM, 3.5 gigahertz processor, i5. The RAM, by the way, is from Corsair. I really like what they provide. And the graphics card is a Radeon Pro. So it's pretty strong for what it is. Of course, I can't afford a $5,000 to $10,000 iMac Pro, but for what that offers for the price under $2,000, minus the RAM you put into it, that's a killer price. And underneath, you're gonna see it's kind of a different color on the bar underneath the screen and the handle at the bottom and the stand, even though it's kind of tucked into this one thing. But I wanted to go with that more gray look because iMacs are silver for the most part, unless you get that gray look with the Pro, which obviously can't afford again. So I got something from Slick Wraps. It was like $13, And it's just a wrap you put on. It's not the greatest, though, honestly. Slip wraps could do a little bit better. It's not measured 100% well. You line it up with the Apple logo in the front, which you can choose to just black out as well. You can cover the Apple logo, but if you're in the Apple ecosphere, you don't really do that type of stuff. And you cover that, and the stand, it's okay. But I like that it made it a little bit more gray just to match the setup. And the stand you see it in is something from 12 South, and it's called the High Rise Pro. It is this severely overpriced, like $125 to $40 stand, but I really love the look of it and the aesthetics. Once again, it is stupidly overpriced, but once again, it's got that gray look. It's got 2 trays essentially, but you can really only use the bottom one because you put a shelf in, and that's where your Mac stand sits on, so you really only have a little bit of space. I recommend putting that as high as you go, so you have the most space at the bottom shelf as possible. In there, I just have my CF and SD card reader and a USB hub that I throw there as well. The one thing I like is the front piece. It's magnetic. You can either have the wood look, which is on there right now, which is probably what you're seeing, or if you flip it around, it's more of a silver look as well, the metallic grunge look. So you can have it as that. It's customizable, but yet again, stupidly overpriced. And the microphone you see off to the side I've had for years is the Blue Yeti. I really love what Blue does with their audio USB devices, and that's one of the best and most affordable ones out in the market. It's about $90, but you see a lot of people on podcasts use it. You'll even see them wrap it up on the arms and everything. So if you're not in an XLR state and you just need USB, I highly recommend looking into Blue products. And Yeti, not a sponsor or anything, I just really love what they provide. And going even below that, you'll see on the desk, I have a huge space black mouse pad. I did that to protect the desk as well from like the keyboard sliding around, because when I'm editing, I actually tilt a lot to do some things. So I do that as well, but I really like having the traction and the space for the mouse as well. So that way I'm not limited to like, going off a certain place. Once again, scratching the desk or anything. I think a very large pad, which a lot of gamers use too, you can get them for like $10 to $20. They're very, very like large area space mats. Definitely recommend. And sitting on top of that, you will see the keyboard that I have is obviously not the original keyboard that comes with your computer. But one of the big things a lot of people wanted was that gray, that pro look. But they didn't part the mouse out and the keyboard and everything till months and months later from their Pro model. So everyone started to get that. That's about the same price, $130 for the keyboard, but it fits well for the setup. I really like the look out of it. The thing that I hate though is, once again, there's no lights on it to know if it's like on or charging or not, and the keys are not backlit. Nah. Off to the side, my mouse and this line has been some of the best I've ever seen made, and one of the most popular is the Logitech MX Master MS2 mouse. The ergonomics are amazing. There's a little bit of buttons on there, so that way you can program some things as well. Very, very ergonomic. It's got like a Porsche design. Very, very affordable though. I think they're about $70 new right now, but whenever there's a new one out, I jump to it because it's a little bit better. They've been more responsive, but the Logitech MX Master line is one of the best out there. On a standing desk setup, storage is one of the biggest issues. Now in the area that I'm in, I don't have a lot of space. My couch is just off to the side of the screen right here, and I don't really have places to put like pens and pencils and hard drives and everything. So one thing I found, until I figure something out or move to a better space, is this little like $15 thing right there from IKEA that you could put on there. It's got a gray look to it, and they're just simple shelves that you could put things in there. It's like this cardboardy type thing, but it doesn't look that bad. I'd prefer that not to be there. So if you guys know of any options for standing desk setups with something like that, or something you can mount underneath, definitely let me and others know. But that's my temporary solution until I really think of something out. But that does the job quite well, and it stays out of the way. And off to the other side of the desk, you see something I've wanted for a long time. That is a lamp with an Edison bulb on it. I got that from IKEA for under $20. The bulb was included in that price as well. I just love the look of the Edison lamp and the bulb and what it provides. Just a nice little warm light. It doesn't really give much, obviously, as you see. It's just that circle there that other orange want to cover in a second. But aesthetically, they're dope. And you see in the background there flickering because that's what they do, and they're not programmed to work with video production. I just got these cheap $5 LED lights that I put through the back. The adhesive absolutely is terrible on it. They're duct taped to the back of the desk, but they add something to it. I got two more things to really wrap out the desk, but this is something that I saw in a lot of videos, and especially Jonathan Morris, are these uplift desk mounts. And what it is they're just hooks that you screw into your top right there. And what they do is they can hold things under the desk. So a lot of people use them to hold bags, either maybe camera bags, headphones and everything. And that's what I have right here. Towards the front and to my left of the desk is where I hang my headphones on, not out. I always like them, keep them in their case, so the case is right there. And then towards the back of the desk, I was able to put my MacBook Pro in its laptop bag there as well. So it's safe, it's off the ground, and I just like where it's at. The last thing I want to cover is the chair. And this is where I realized investing in your chair is investing in your health and being able to work for longer periods of time comfortably. Stop buying these cheap chairs. I mean, obviously, if you don't have the money to invest into it, you know, buy the $99 staple chair. But once you get some money and you feel like you can invest, throw that away, give that to someone else, or donate it and invest in a chair. I've been looking for a gaming, you know, whatever good chair for a long time, and I finally found one from Vertigear. It's their PL6000. And the chair, that version runs from about $400 to $450. It holds a lot of weight. I'm obviously not a small guy, but it's very customizable and it's easy to use and it is super comfortable. And that's one of the biggest things. It gives you a lot of room, space, padding, and you could even flip a lever, flip all the way backwards like PewDiePie and do this. So even take little rest in between and little breaks, because if you're just going at something a lot and you're editing, little breaks help here and there. That's one of the things I can highly recommend. And the chair is very sturdy. That's going to last years upon years upon years. And once again, $400 to $450 is very affordable for something like this. But you have even more expensive chairs like Herman Miller and everything that could be about $1,000. So invest in your health if you can and get something that's really good. So I just want to note, my cable management is horrible. I did whatever I could with what I could. There's a lot of duct tape under that desk as well. I'm that type of person. So if you saw wires hanging and stuff like that and you were like, oh God, what do you do? I don't know. Maybe give me some more tips of that down below. But all this right here, this is what works for me, and it has helped since I've been able to piece all this all together for relatively, not a ton of money, but you know, enough. So once again, FlexiSpot, thank you sending the desk out. Anything that I've talked about, all the links will be down below. Some of them will be affiliate links. If you want to help support the channel, check out those down below, but some of them won't as well. Basically, the Amazon ones will be, and everything else like the FlexiSpot, the ones for Apple, are not affiliates as well. So think of that, enjoy, tell me some of your setups, and do you have any of this stuff? Do you like it? I'll tell you what, best $5 I ever spent, the flickering lights right there.